Hello everyone, welcome back to Scrape Metal and Roll, the Limited Adhesion podcast. This is episode 7, talking about all the action from Red Atlanta for prototypes and Prime. Joining me this time, I have one of the men who has become absolutely essential to the LOA over the last few seasons. Say hello to Stephen Maxwell. How you doing, Stephen?
I'm doing pretty well.
Excellent stuff, yeah. And next up, he's a member of the Minardi team from America. I don't actually know where you are, Kenjo, but we'll find out. Say hello to Kenneth Olive.
Hey, it's how's it going? I'm from Tennessee.
Tennessee, nice. Okay, cool. And finally, then, he's the first returning guest to the podcast, and certainly was making some big waves in Prime around Road Atlanta. It's Alex Murphy. How you doing, Alex?
I'm all right. I just realized that it's the North American episode.
It is indeed, yeah. and me from the frozen UK. Yeah, it's -1. Actually, let's do a quick roundup. So it's -1 here at the moment. Stephen, what's the temperature like where you
are? Probably in the 40s. That's Fahrenheit.
Yeah, you're talking to Americans, man.
Yeah. Oh Christ!
That's 46 here.
Yeah, it's 41.
To me that sounds warm, but yeah, hang on, 46 Fahrenheit to Celsius, 7 degrees, so it is 46. So sounds like
that is pretty warm.
4 degrees. Oh man, yeah. So it's pretty cold everywhere then.
I mean, for a Canadian, that 7 degrees sounds great.
Yeah, you got your shorts on, have you?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty bundled up right now.
Yeah, same. Excellent. Right, well, Stephen, let's talk to yourself first then. How did you get into the LOA for a start?
I was driving for Black Dove Racing, and one of my teammates, Evan Conception, I think that's how you say his name, started with limited adhesion, and after about 1 or 2 races, I joined in. My first race was, I don't remember the season number, but it was in the GT3 Porsche at NERB.
Cool. Very nice. Yeah. And so how long have you been sim racing?
Sim racing since 2018 about is when I first kind of got into it. I've been doing arcade style racers basically all my life. I think the first racing game I ever played was Need for Speed in the 90s. So that was before Underground. Wow,
yeah. Okay. And for the sim nerds amongst us, what's your setup like?
I've got a CSX3 wheel on a DD2 on a Fanatec DD2, 80/20 rig, triple monitors, 32-inch, and some Huskenfeld Ultimates for pedals.
Very nice too. And I said earlier that you've become pretty much essential to the LOA machine in recent seasons, and that absolutely is true. For those who don't know, Stephen makes the USF and the... What's the other one? You do the USF
TCR.
as well? Yeah, TCR and USF. Yeah, that's it. The acronyms getting muddled up. Yeah, so how did you get started doing... You sort of helped us out with that when Tor took over the USF, I think it was. Did he press game?
Well, weren't you originally doing USF?
I was,
1?
yeah, but then I had work.
Yeah. You had to drop it because of real life issues, and I actually just volunteered because I was like, I wonder what it's like to put videos together, and so stumbled my way through the first few, and just been kind of evolving it since then.
And you really have, yeah. And we've seen some brilliant new innovations from you, such as the little graphic of the car that pops up when you show which driver we're looking at on screen, and the rolling grid graphic, which actually I suppose the Oval Division do something similar. But yeah, it's just really nice innovations that you've brought to the party. So yeah, really nice stuff. And obviously, the other things you've been working on for us are the result tables and some of the sort of maintaining the scoring. So do you want to sort of tell us what stuff you've been working on with that?
Yeah, so that was just to try to simplify and I guess make the organizer's life easier by just automating the very odd scoring systems that y'all use. And so just built what is it, ir-leaguemanager.com to host all that data. So I just after a race, I aggregate pull from the iRacing servers the session data, and then run it through the code to add the scores and custom classes and all that stuff to come up with the final results.
That is really cool. And is the IR League Manager something you're looking to roll out to other leagues as well?
That was the original intent. I think that there are some other more developed sites already that kind of do that. And I've got an attention span of a goldfish. So being one person, everything going on and attention span issues, it's I don't exactly see it being deployment worthy, at least in the near future. So.
Well, fair dues, yeah. But obviously, me, Jules, and everyone else at LOI, just enormously grateful to you for all the time and effort that you put into that and to the videos each week. So thank you very much. Yeah, really appreciate it. Let's turn to you. Thanks, man. Let's turn to you, Kenneth. How long have you been? Well, yeah, tell us your sim racing story and how you ended up in the Minardi team, because you guys are sort of scattered all around the place. So quite an interesting team how it formed.
Yeah, so we actually formed over a little top-down racer game on Steam called Circuit Superstars. That's where we originally began. We all were playing the beta together, and we leagues got formed, and so we all teamed up, and that's where we all met. And I got a wheel because I wanted to do some NASCAR racing on NASCAR Heat 5. It went on stale, and got a wheel. Played that game for like two minutes and was like, nah, this ain't it. I saw how fun iRacing looked, got iRacing, and I've been playing it for like 2 years now, I guess. I got the rest of the Minardi guys into it. We've all been kind of playing it, and Ben hit me up one day about the USF league that y'all run. He said that y'all were running an oval one day or that weekend for the USA at the USA International track. I said sure. So we jumped in and got to do some racing with y'all, and y'all were really cool. So it was like, let's run with it. I was picking up the car at the time and everything. So that's kind of how we came into the league limit of adhesion here. So it's been fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. And you said to me just now that you're from Tennessee. Is there a track in Tennessee like the real one? And is it on iRacing?
Yeah. There's Bristol. Motor Speedway.
Bristol's in Tennessee.
Yeah,
Nice.
I actually worked for Bristol for about 2 years. It was really cool. And then
cool.
also the two Nashville tracks on iRacing. They're all ovals, but yeah, there's 3 Tennessee tracks.
What were you doing at Bristol?
I was I was in college. I was the mascot for Bristol Motor Speedway.
Now, is that one of those big, heavy, sweaty uniforms?
Yeah.
Costume
The state animal is a raccoon. So they had brother and sister raccoons, and their name were Bump and Run.
Oh, cool! You've got to post a photo of that on the Discord.
Yeah. I'll post one. We got to go to. They had a football game in Bristol. It's the largest college American football game. Sorry, largest one ever. So they got in the Guinness World Record book. It was really cool working for the speedway. Yeah. We got to go to all the races and everything. So, yeah. But I'll post a picture of them.
Oh, awesome stuff. Yeah, that is very cool. Yeah, Bristol's a really fun track. I've had some nice races on there. What's your favourite road course then?
I gotta say Summit Point probably. To keep it simple, I like the USF on Summit Point a lot. It's probably my favorite road course combo. Yeah.
It's a nice track actually. Yeah, we call what do you call the bottom end of the circuit? Because in the LOA we coined it the safari park, because it looks when you go to these places where they have wild animals and you sort of drive through in your car and the animals are just there by the road. That's a safari park, and if to me with the buildings down that end of the track, it really looks like that. So yeah, in the LOA we just call that a safari park rather than the wagon wheel and whatever the real corner names are. So,
Oh yeah. I don't. I've never been one for corner names. I've just kind of drove the track, but that sounds funny.
yeah, yeah, it's a nice little track. Cool stuff. Oh yeah. Should have asked you about your sim gear as well.
Oh yeah, I've just got the Fanatec CSL DD with
okay.
yeah,
Nice.
with the upgraded power and the load cell pedals. So that's what we're running with.
Yeah. You got a round wheel?
Yeah.
Oh, one day I'll get a DD.
It's nice.
You and me both, Alex?
You don't
finally,
need it.
I finally got it
Okay.
mounted, so it's not rocking the desk everywhere. I've got it on a little. We've got a little custom made rig for it, so it's kind of cool.
Awesome. Oh, that sounds nice. Like it. Alex, you're my first returning guest to the podcast, so welcome back. Been lighting up all the timesheets across the board. So I didn't want to just go through the same stuff that we talked about last time. So I thought we'd play a little game.
Uh-oh.
Are you ready for this? And Kenjo, I'm going to ask you to do me a favour. So every time I ask him the question, you're then going to count down 3, 2, 1, and then he has to tell the answer, so he doesn't have time to Google it. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Cool.
I'm a cheater. This is what I'm learning.
Okay, so we're going to play Who Lives Nearer. So you're in Toronto, I'm in Brighton. So who lives nearer to Road Atlanta?
3.
I
2,
would really hope it's
1.
me.
It is you. Yeah, you're 703 miles away, and I'm 4,180 miles away.
Yeah, it's almost
So-
like there's an ocean.
Yeah. But here's the next one then. Who lives closer to Interlagos?
3,
Oh.
2. 1.
Probably me, I think. Where
It's
is
surprisingly
Brazil?
close, though. It's 5,092 miles between you and Interlagos, and it's 5,868 miles from me. So it's only like 800 odd miles, not too far.
Oh.
So here's the next one then. You ready? Who lives closer to Suzuka?
3,
Oh, shit.
2,
Shut up,
1.
Ken.
0.
That is, yeah, that's a hard one. You, I
Yeah,
guess,
go on.
maybe?
Yeah, just though. 6,556 miles for you, 5,958 for me. Okay, 3 more, by the way.
Oh, man. Gonna get
So
even
who
harder.
lives closer to Kyalami in South Africa?
3,
Thank you for
2,
including the South Africa part.
1.
I'm not old enough to remember the F1 race there, you know.
Yeah.
You, I guess.
It is me, yeah. 8287 for you, 5081 for me. Who lives closer to Sochi in Russia?
3,
Shit.
2,
Russia's so
1.
big. You. Is it near Moscow?
Well, no, it's not, but it's yeah, it's quite surprising. It's 5,336 miles for you, 1,912 for me. I thought it'd be.
I was
closer.
just
Yeah.
I was just assuming that, like, you know, the eastern 50% of Russia kind of just doesn't exist. Like, no one actually lives there. So that was how I was guessing where Sochi is.
Fair dues, yeah. Okay, one last round then. Who lives closer to Melbourne in
3,
Australia?
Oh shit.
2, 1.
Me.
It
Maybe.
is you. Just. It's 10,110 miles for you, 10,519 for me. So well done, man. I think you got about half right there. That was good. Congrats.
Only half. Damn.
Yeah, I'm not letting you have all of them. Let's move on then and talk about Road Atlanta. First of all, Stephen, what do you think of Road Atlanta? Do you like the track?
I don't have an issue with the track. It's probably one of my more challenging tracks to be consistent at, so I don't rank it up there as one of my top favorites at the moment.
Fair enough. Yeah. What about you, Kenjo? Are you a fan?
Yeah, I like it. It's fun. I like the challenge of I think it's 3 over the hill there. Of course, that's like
Mm-hmm.
I like experimenting with it, and I feel like I made a lot of progress this past week with with the officials running in tandem with what we were running. So yeah, had a lot of fun with it in the F4.
Yeah, three is fun, and then 5 with that enormous bump of the curb as you go onto that little back straight.
Mm-hmm.
Bit of a nightmare corner, yeah. And Alex, obviously, you seem to love the track, considering how fast you were around there.
I mean, I don't think it sounds right if I say that I don't like the track. I didn't think I liked the track, but I think I have to say I like it now.
I think there'd be pitchforks if you said you didn't. Well, let's talk about prototypes then. So obviously with the double headers, that was the first race, and let's bring up the results. So in Heat 1, we had Mr. Messenger winning from yourself, Stephen. So congratulations on a nice P2, and Kevin Kelly coming home in 3rd. Power Kuzmarek 4th, David Dlugakeki, I'm going to get him on soon, talk about his name, in 5th, and Dan Rice in 6th. A great result for Dan. And then, we didn't have many LMP2s on the grid this time, did we?
I think we had
Tor,
7.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
No, Chalcraft was there.
No, yeah. Oh, yeah, Ben crashed very early on. He finished down in 14th, so... I think he crashed out of turn 4. Yeah, the left-hander. Tor dominating in the LMP3s ahead of Russell and Eric Piusi in 3rd. Then Mark Ennis, James Pepper, Rich Meesters, Steve Pepper, then the aforementioned Ben, then myself, Lars Baumeister, and Zhao Tomi. He had a bit of a one to forget. So, Stephen, talk us through the race from your side. How was it?
It was one of those I was surprised that I had the pace that I did. Like I said, it's usually one of those tracks that I struggle at. Turn 3 in the chicane, I tend to overslow. So race 1 was a lot of fun. When you're almost the same pace as the car ahead of you, it's a really hard track to pass on, because even if you do get the overdraft there on the back straight, you still got to pull it through on the chicane usually.
Yeah, you do, and we'll come on to passing on the chicane
Yeah,
when we talk about Prime. Let's talk about race 2 then.
Yeah, race 2. I was running 3rd, but then I had a goof up on turn 1, pushed it too far out, and had to take a double cut to not rejoin the track in front of Gavin. So again, similar pace, and just couldn't find an opportunity to get past.
Well, you did back the fastest lap though, which is nice.
I did.
Yeah. 1:10.849 compared to 1:10.934 for Messenger. So yeah, good job, man.
I'll have to double check that, but yeah, cool.
It was on lap 5, if that helps. So you'll have to go back and rewatch your race and see what happened. Yeah, so Glagakeki winning the race from Messenger from Kelly. So quite a consistent sort of podium group between the 4 of you, really. And then taking a look at LMP3, it was Tor winning again, Russell in 2nd, and Mark Innes in 3rd. Rich Meesters 4th, me 5th. Stephen, talk us through the championships, because obviously we mentioned the league manager and you're posting all our results. So why not you tell us how we're doing for the championships?
Okay. So in the LMP2s, David Dlugakeki. I can say it in my head, but I can't spit it out. Leads on 304 points. I'm in P2 on 273 points. Michael Messenger is 3rd on 217. Marin Hugavin 4th on 191. Gavin Kelly at 187. And then we got Ben Shalcroft, Afonso Aguar, Mike Murphy, Paul Kuzmarek, Robert Cravelli, James Renwick, Stephen Greening, Dan Rice, Oliver Ettridge, Don Parker, Dan Shaw, Ty Monat, and Nick Simone rounding us out at 18 drivers.
Who's this Dan Shaw person? We never see him anymore, do we?
Yeah, I know, right?
You're the
Yeah.
reigning champ, though, aren't you? So, do you think you can still get after Glugakeke and beat him?
I mean, he's fast. He showed that pretty early on in the season. So, I mean, I'm only 31 points behind him, and Spa I goofed, so I already know that I got a drop to look forward to there. Assuming that I can keep it together the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So, assuming nobody makes any major mistakes over more than another race or so, I feel like this one's probably going to come down to the wire, finishing positions and whatnot in the final race.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, it sounds really exciting, actually, and best of luck to you and to all the other drivers in the championship. Don't want to show any favouritism. So, why don't you run us through just the top sort of 5 or 6 of LMP3, and we'll just have a quick chat about that championship before we move on to Prime.
LMP3, this one's actually going to looks like it's turning out to be quite interesting. You got Russell Bright leading on 233 points, Tur Millarn on 222, Rich Meesters on 220, Gareth Winslade on 199, Jao Tome on 177, Ryan Tozuski 166, P7 is Steve Pepper at 145. Then we got Mark Ennis, Mark Zeff, Sam Stott, Lars Bowell-Meester, James Pepper, Eric Pusey, Philip Miles, Oliver Walker, and Stephen McCann, rounding us out for 16 drivers.
Good stuff, yeah.
That one looks like it's really tight up there in the top 5.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, it's all changed around, obviously. So after Magny Core, it was Rich who was leading the championship, and I think there was like 7 points between 4 drivers. So, nice to see. Unfortunately, the Russell and Tour sort of stretching their legs a bit with some big old scores at Road Atlanta. No, none of us could even touch them. They were just they were a class apart.
They jumped from 5th and 7th, respectively.
Yeah. Just a huge pace that they had. They were like a second or more clear of the rest of us. It was, I had a bit of a disastrous race one. In fact, I dropped it and hit the bridge. Then I went in, got my quick repair, sped out of the pits, so I had to go and do the stop and go, and then I got a drive through for exceeding penalty points. So yay me! And race 2, yeah. I mean, Rich Meesters, we've been mentioning him a bit on the commentaries. He's just it's really turned a corner this season, and his driving's just become pretty mega. And I couldn't keep up with him in race 2. So yeah, Rich is looking very fast this season. Well, let's move on then to Prime, because all of us were in that, so that's going to be more interesting for a chat. Kenneth, I want to start with you actually, because you had the first sort of big incident of the race. Why don't you talk us through it from your side?
Yeah, no. I tried to move left, and the cars came left. Basically, that's what I saw. I was excited for it because I felt like I had some decent race pace, was better than my quali pace, but it was unfortunate. Thankfully, I could still drive it back got it back to the pits and everything, and had a good tussle there with horrible with names. I can't remember who, but it was fun good with the car there for most of the race. So we kept each other company for the rest of it. So it was nice.
Fantastic stuff. Yeah, it was really fun, wasn't it? An interesting track to drive. Stephen, P7 in race 1. How was it from your side?
Race 1 was, to be honest, probably my best finish all season in Prime. That one was fun. There was a number of times that it was like 4 of us all in a pack together, and just trying to sit there and figure out, do you take the opportunity and throw everybody off, or do you just sit back and wait for someone to make a mistake? I think the mistakes there was very limited, because I think that pack stayed together for quite a while.
Yeah, I fell off out of it at one point, and then the spin at the end. But it was I was watching Russell's video actually today of the battle, and you were featured very prominently in that first bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice having a race where everybody can kind of stick together, and you've really got to keep the consistency going. Otherwise, one little mistake and you're to the back of the pack or worse.
Absolutely, yeah. And Philip Miles doing the best out of the Minardi team. Nice to see him up there in 6th place. A great result for him. Alex, fastest lap, P1, pole position, and the win in race 1. Was it easy, or was it Tour gave you a bit of a tough time, didn't he?
Yeah, Tour was leading for most of it. It was oh man, how many laps? It wasn't until like lap 8 or so that I was able to get the move on him. He passed me just at the start of the second lap because I wasn't really interested in defending down the main straight so early on. So he just went by, and I was like, well, I'm not holding the outside of turn 1. Not that crazy. Yeah, just chilled there, tried to get a bit of a gap going. Like maybe we could have dropped Rob in 3rd. But I mean, obviously that didn't happen, but we got a bit clear of 4th place and down. So just kept it chill for a while there. Was able to get by Tour, and then I think right after I got by Tour, he and Rob did a bit of battling, which gave me a gap right away, so I didn't have to worry about them being in my draft or anything. I just had to keep it on the track.
Yeah. Did you feel like you could always get past him once he got past you, or did you feel like you had to plan it and fight?
It's a pretty hard track to pass on, and it doesn't help. I don't think I'm driving turn 7 the best, really. That's the one going onto the long back straight.
Yeah.
And so it was really hard because I was coming out of there a little slower than everyone, I think. So I really had to be close to be able to make a move going down to the chicane. And that seemed to really be the only spot where I could kind of get that sort of run. The only other spot was like going into turn 3, and that would be just insane to do in the middle of a race. Like maybe last lap, but like going for that on like lap 6, no, I'm not. I don't need to be doing that.
You want to be back with my sort of people. We were all passing into turn 6. It was quite fun.
But I had to, like, I couldn't even really get beside Tour unless I was within like 3/10 going onto the back straight. So
yeah,
it was pretty hard. When I did get him, I got him around the outside going into the chicane. But it did take me a couple laps to get by him because it was, it's not a very easy track to make the move on.
No. So it was, obviously yourself, Tor, and Michael Messenger making up the podium in race 1. And then looking at race 2, then obviously with the reverse grid and Russell starting on pole position, and he had a bit of a lucky break due to an early incident, which I think Philip was in, wasn't he? But Kenneth, talk us about your race. Great result for you, man.
Yeah. Just got to kind of drive through the field a bit there. It was just a good, I don't know. It was fun.
18th to P6, man. I mean, congrats. It's a storming drive, mate.
Yeah. It's happened a couple of times in Prime this season. I've had a bad result in the first race, and I don't know, I'm able to just kind of still steer clear of most of the incidents, make a couple of moves, and get a good result out of it. So yeah, finishing up there it's really fun. Yeah, I don't get to make all the Prime races this season, so whenever I do, I try to make the most of it.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, well, it's always nice to see you on the grid, man. Trust me, we want to see you and the rest of the Minardi guys as much as possible. Yeah, and Stephen, you were one of the unfortunate ones in that incident in turn 3 early on, coming from P2 on the grid. That must have been gutting.
Yeah, it was quite unfortunate. I tried to make a move on, or I did make a move on Russell the lap prior going to chicane. I just cooked it a little too heavy, so paid the price coming out of the chicane. And so Philip and I were side by side in turn 1, and Rob Miller decided to take advantage of it. and unfortunately Philip and Rob came together, and I was just wrong place, wrong time at that point. So
Yeah.
after that, it was pretty much a bore for me because I went in the pits to repair and nobody to race after that.
I feel like we've seen Rob and someone make contact in turn 3 there before, trying to make a move. But yeah, that's ringing a little memory bell for me.
Advice: don't try anything 3 wide through turn 3. It's bad enough 2 wide.
It is, yeah. I mean, it's tough to like. I did pass Chris White in there twice in race 1, and I mean, Chris is a really respectful, lovely driver, and I think he just saw me coming and gave me the space and decided not to risk it. But we had some fantastic racing through the pack there. I had a computer freeze again in race 2, and I had the same thing in prototypes at Magny-Cours, and I don't know what's going on, but yeah, just like my computer locked up and I could hear the engine noise, and I was on the back straight, and then so I was in P6 at the time, and when it reappeared I was in P17 or something. So yeah, bit of a burn from the stern, but it did set me up for making some brilliant overtakes. So I had so much fun. I had a really nice battle with Dan Rice, Chris Forrester and Ben Chowcroft. It was a 3-wide between me, Dan, and Ben, so I hope that makes it onto the video because it was awesome. And I got through it. Alex, obviously, another win from P8 on the grid. How was it? Fun?
I was really stressed for the first few laps. I mean, Tour didn't grid because he's a silly boy, so that
he was chatting.
that helped a little bit because I didn't have to worry about him. Well, I messaged him before the race because I figured he could put the moves on a little better than me. So I said like I wasn't gonna fight him if we got lined up, because like I said, I wasn't too confident on the back stretch there or anything. So I wasn't really sure what kind of moves I could be doing. And yeah, when I saw that 3 wide going into turn 3, I mean, I was right behind that side by side with Gavin. I pretty
so
much
bricking it.
I was on the inside going to turn 3. I pretty much stopped my car on the curb going through that corner because I was like, oh geez, like don't crash into them, Gavin, and don't crash into me, please.
You're a lucky boy then, getting through there.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, so obviously the double, congrats on that. 2 fastest laps as well, and the pole. So the maximum points possible from Road Atlanta. Gavin Kelly coming home in 2nd place, and Russell with that agonising spin through T1 to drop it. He was behind you at the time, wasn't he?
Yeah. He did about a lap in my draft, and I was like, oh shit, I need to actually like pick up the pace a bit because he's catching back up to me. And then he just in my dirty air there, he just pushed wide in turn 1 and just spun it around trying to avoid going off.
Yeah, big shame for him.
Yeah.
Chris White, though, look at that in P4. Congratulations to you, Chris, when you listen to this, because that was an amazing drive. So, yeah, really, really happy to see Chris doing so well there. David Lukakeki in 5th. And then we've already mentioned yourself, Kenneth, and then Rich in 7th, me 8th, Chris, and then Ben. Stephen, let's talk about the championship then. Obviously, presumably Alex is still miles in the lead. Is he nailed on, do you reckon, for the championship?
I mean, let's see, we're halfway through, so barring anything, holding him up for 4 more races, and it's looking pretty solid in his favor.
Yeah. What's the point margin in his favor?
He's on 306, followed by Gavin Kelly at 179. So he's got a pretty substantial. He's got over 100-point lead on P2. So
wow,
it's gonna be hard to close.
Yeah. Stephen Greening now starting to dread the postage fees to Canada. Yeah. So I mean, do you think it's are you done and dusted? Do you think, Alex, you're home and dry, or do you think you've still got some competition there?
I mean, I'm not gonna say it's over quite yet. I mean, there's a good handful of guys that have missed a round already, so there's still the drops to consider. And the next couple races are on tracks that I've literally never raced on before, and I'm still like, I try to practice on Sebring, and I have no idea what I'm doing on that track. So I think
Looking forward to that one in the prototypes.
it's the next couple rounds will be interesting. I'm hoping that between Sebring and Jerez I can have an okay round, so that I still have like a drop left in case something happens in the last couple rounds. Like, that's my kind of thinking right now.
Yeah, sensible. Yeah. So, well, yeah, you said that it's was it Sebring, Jerez, Watkins Glen, and Suzuka to round out the season. Kenjo, what do you feel about those tracks? Are you looking forward to them?
Yeah, Sebring sounds like a fun try with the F4. I think I raced it with the USF and maybe a prototype here or there, but yeah, with the F4 that sounds like a good time. And Suzuka is always it's a fan favorite, so it's always one that we run, and yeah, it'll be fun. I like going there. So yeah, we'll see how the rest of it rounds out, but sounds like some fun rounds at the end.
Excellent stuff. Yeah, and are you racing? I know you're racing in the USF when you can. Do you do any of the others, TCR and stuff?
Yeah, I've raced a couple TCR races. They're fun. It's kind of funny. I've actually got a Hyundai Veloster seat, but I race with the Civic. But
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I've done like Knock Hill and maybe one other one I can't remember right off the top of my head. But I've hopped in some TCR races with y'all. They're fun. I like the car. It's a challenge with the front wheel drive.
It is, yeah. You going to be at the Red Bull Ring?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm trying to run the full season of the USF, and like I said, trying to catch what prime races I can this season, this round. But so I plan to be at the ring.
Brilliant stuff. Cool. And obviously, Stephen, you've been racing TCR as well. Mixed bag of results, really, isn't it? Have you struggled, or has it just been?
I think my biggest problem so far is I just keep getting caught up. Early on in the season was trying to get used to the car and picking up pace. And I think it was at Knock Hill that I finally started to find it a bit. But I keep finding myself getting caught up either in other accidents or getting into accidents, similar with Prime. So
yeah, your luck has been atrocious this season, I must admit.
Yeah, I mean, it's just those two. USF has been going pretty well. I'm not going to call luck with ovals anything other than it's ovals, and they can nasty words. And prototype I've been able to hold together pretty well. So
yeah. Well, that's good. Excellent. Well, I'm glad that you're still chipper about it and stuff, and hopefully your luck does turn soon, similar to race 1 at Road Atlanta, and you get some more good results. So, yeah. Well, I'm seeing the time, and although it's only 6 o'clock for you, most of you guys, and it's like 20 to midnight here, so I think it's a good time for me to wrap up and go to bed. So I want to say a massive thank you to Kenjo, to Stephen, and to Alex, and wish you all the best of luck for the second half of your seasons. This has been episode 7 of Scrape Metal and Roll. See you all on track very soon, and say goodbye, guys.
See ya.
Bye, guys.
Yep, see ya.
Cheers, guys. See you next time.